Superheroes are liked by everyone, regardless of their age. Here is how to create your own superhero that will have his villains cowering in fear. Maybe it is the innate human tendency in me to always want what the other person has that governs my choice of my favorite superhero, or maybe it is the fact that the character fascinates me. I am not sure what it really is, but for me, the one character that tops the list of comic book superheroes has always been Rogue from X-Men. Sure, any psychoanalyst will have a field time dissecting my choice, but there is something particularly intriguing about a person who can suck another mutant's powers just with a touch. It is this fascination that has led me to want to create my own superhero. But how do you do that? What are the things you need to pay attention to? With this article you will soon know what thought process goes into creating a character with superhuman abilities. How to create a superhero. Let us start with the first thing that comes to our mind. What is it about superheroes that attracts us? Why do they fascinate us? For most of us, going through any list of superheroes will have us marveling over the powers they possess. That is your first and foremost step. Decide what powers you want your superhero or heroine to possess. Once you have made a list of every power and talent that you can include in the design of your character, it is time to give him a backstory. Decide what his history is and how he got the powers he possesses. Did he come to Earth from another planet, or was he bitten by a mutant insect? Whatever it may be, this is very important in order to introduce him to your audience. Without a story as to how he became the person he is, it will be difficult for your audience to empathize with him. But if you intend to keep the story of his creation a mystery, do keep it from your readers. Another important thing that you will want to decide on is what your superhero's gender is. While male superheroes have always enjoyed a certain popularity, female superheroes have a huge fan base as well. Depending on what your superhero's gender is, their personality will be defined. Another important thing to decide is whether or not they have another identity. For every Superman, there is a Clark Kent, and for every Spider-Man, there is a Peter Parker. If you want a secret identity for your superhero, you need to create a believable character, someone whose flaws make up at a certain level for all that is good about the superhero. Next comes the part of designing your superhero's costume. This is a very simple process. The only thing it needs is quite a bit of creativity. Before you start cutting up cloth to sew a superhero costume, design the same on paper. Decide on color combinations for the costume, and how it will be put together. Decide on key things, like whether or not your superhero wear a cape. You will also need to decide on a logo or symbol that can be sewn onto the costume. This is important, as the symbol will be representative of your superhero. If you have a superhero, there has to be a catchphrase. This pretty much determines the coolness quotient of your superhero. So come up with a catchphrase that your superhero will say out loud on specific occasions. Also, whether or not you want a sidekick for your superhero is an important decision to make. Decide what this sidekick's relationship with your superhero is. Decide what gadgets you want your superhero to use. A fancy car that can convert into a plane, or a pen that is actually a camera and listening device rolled into one. It can be anything you want. These are just some super awesome gadgets you can equip your superhero with. Once you have created a superhero, it is time to decide on who his archenemy is. After all, what is good without evil? Your superhero can become more prominent only if against him is an equally malicious and delinquent villain. Once you have all these things in order, you will have a super cool and awesome superhero that will be the reason for everyone's envy.